Would you like to know how to win in life? Did you know that there's a simple secret to be great at anything? Jesus said, be humble. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest, the Jesus way. Today's Jesus said comes from Matthew 23, verses 8 through 12. And for some context, we're going to start with verse 5 today, reading from the New Living Translation, where Jesus said, everything they do is for show. On their arms, they wear extra wide prayer boxes with scripture verses inside, and they wear robes with extra long tassels. And they love to sit at the head table at banquets and seats of honor in the synagogues. They love to receive respectful greetings as they walk in the marketplace and to be called rabbi. Okay, so before we go on to verse 8, which is where the actual quote came from today, Jesus was calling out the religious leaders of the day. Now, the things that they were doing were not bad in and of themselves. But now he goes on to make another point. Verse 8, don't let anyone call you rabbi, for you have only one teacher, and all of you are equal as brothers and sisters. And don't address anyone here on earth as father, for only your God in heaven is your Father. And don't let anyone call you teacher, for you have only one teacher, the Messiah. The greatest among you must be a servant. But those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. And so that was the inspiration for today's soundbite, where Jesus said, be humble. You know, pride is the biggest battlefield that you will face. And humility is not very popular in our culture. I mean, have you ever heard of a self-help course about being humble? But what is the opposite of humility? Well, it's pride. And pride is sneaky. Now, I'm not talking about the good kind of pride, like being proud of your kids, but the danger zone is the selfish kind of pride that is actually the root of sin. I mean, did you know that insecurity and arrogance come from the same place in our hearts? I mean, insecurity says, oh, well, God's not big enough to take care of me. And arrogance says, I don't need God. Pride's source and root is isolation. Both loneliness and arrogance say, I am alone. But humility acknowledges the presence and importance of others. Pride says you're the only one that matters. And pride is sneaky, and it is a master of camouflage and disguise. And labels are where your pride hides. Labels and stereotypes. One way that you get trapped, either comparing yourself to others, or, well, you either think that you're not as good as they are, or you're better and feel good about yourself because they are so bad. And pride always deals in absolutes. They, you can insert any label here, are always. And labels dehumanize those you are exalting as superheroes or judging as worthless. And it's really hard to have empathy for a label. But let's go back to what Jesus said here in the context of religious pride and labels. In verse 8, he says, don't let anyone call you rabbi, for you have only one teacher, and all of you are equal as brothers and sisters. And then on to verse 11 again, the greatest among you must be a servant, but those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Jesus said, you are all equal as brethren, as family, as brothers and sisters. Jesus was all about equality way before it was politically correct. Now, we like our own labels, and we love to use our labels to put others down, to make us feel better about ourselves. But Jesus humbled not only himself, but he tells us that greatness comes from humility. If we humble ourselves, that's how you really win in life, both now and eternally. Jesus said, Be humble. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it does mean a lot when you like it, when you share it, when you comment. I really appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing day. And I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.